Det har blivit dags för nästa bolagspresentation som är Lumito och VD Urban Widén. Jag ska inte bli längre än så, utan med det så lämnar jag över ordet till dig, Urban.
Thank you very much, Niels, and warmly welcome to this presentation in the forefront of digital pathology. And warmly welcome, everyone. This about tissue diagnostic is about three things. One is to have high precision in the diagnostic. The other one is to release resources in the laboratory. And the third thing is to minimize the margins of error among the pathologies in diagnosing of cancer. So we, Lumito, have a number of things that we like to offer. First is the scanner. It's the hardware and it's the software. And in the lower part and the left corner, you see the Regent kit. These two works together. We are now in a global market with strong growth. We have a patented state-of-art technology, and this business is built on recurring income. It has a large potential, and we are just in a validation period with our customers now in the end of 2020. First of all, healthcare is pushing very much to save cost and also to shorten the test response time. For that reason, it's a great demand for products with high accuracy and more reliable analytical results. And what are the trends? First, we have lack of resources. It's absolutely too few pathologists around in the world. If we take Sweden, as we are operating in at the moment, it's about 200 pathologists, but the need is about 400. On top of that, we have an aging population. That means cancer is increasing in the end of the lifetime. And that means more and more tissue samples is coming into laboratories. That is also leading to long analysis times. So if we take breast cancer today, it's like 6 to 8 weeks. If we take prostate cancer, maybe 12 to 14 weeks. It could be done in one day, 24 hours, if we have the right resources. It's also a big need for greater coherence between the pathologists. So that means that everyone who's looking on the same sample have the same meaning what type of cancer this is and how this patient should be treated. And there's a need for more reliable analytical results, of course. So we like to create a system that gives a bigger opportunity for coherence between the pathologies. We also like to develop a system that we can use digital algorithms to have decision support for AI. We also like to create a system that is like a plug-in unit in a larger medical record diagnostic system in the healthcare, because it's very lot of regulations and rules how to come into a record system for a patient, and for that reason it's better to be a part of a larger system what is already established. Digitization is going very fast, and Lumito's ambition is to be in the forefront. Today is the pathologists examine 80% of their time completely healthy tissue, and that's of course a big cost for the society. So this is maybe the biggest and the most important picture in the presentation here. If we take breast cancer, what is one of the largest cancer diseases in the world, we know that 75% of the biopsies are perfectly diagnosed, but 25% of this tissue examination are not perfectly. in most cases is a more positive samples than expected. The world market is about 6.5 billion US dollar. It's an annual growth of 6 to 10%, and 30% is Europe's market share. To see it another way, we see the compound growth rate around 6%, and the market segmentation is 54% is hospital labs, and 25% is labs outside the hospitals, mainly private labs, and it's pharma companies and contract manufacturers. Who are the major players? We know that Roche, we have Thermo Fisher, Cellavision, Sectra, and Philips are the main player. But with this technology, Lumito has no head-to-head competitors. Let's go into the technology, the fantastic technology. This is built up of something we call UCNPs, what is up converted nanoparticles. First, we have primary antibodies. They recognize the cancer cell. Here is marked in purple color. On top of that, we put secondary antibodies, and our particles is tying up to this secondary antibodies. These are visible in the cancer cell, and we can, with excitation with a laser, put a wavelength of 980 in and emission in different wavelengths. That means we get the picture without background, just the lightning of the nanoparticles. This is a typical picture what the pathology is using in microscope or in digital pathology. And as said earlier, 80% of the time is just examine healthy tissue. And how do Lumito's technology look like? The picture to the left here is more or less the same as I showed the picture earlier. This is standard label. The one in the middle, you can see the cell membranes uplighted with the nanoparticles. This is the same tissue, all three. And the last one, we have put Lumito's technology on top of standard technology, and we can lift on and off these layers as it have no background. What are the benefits with this? As we can see here in the picture, we have higher contrast. And this quality is much more, have a higher quality than normal immunohistochemistry, and it makes it much easier for computer analysis. And this gives, of course, an opportunity for future to connect to AI and other decision support systems. This is a game-changing product really in the diagnosis. So the long-term vision is that we should release resources, as I said in the beginning, increase the accuracy and minimize the errors. So the marketing strategy, we are just now in a validation period, and we give the reference customer some more hands-on experience. We work with partners for volume production and worldwide distribution. And next year, we are aiming for CE marking and also ISO qualification. The first market we will go to is Europe. With this technology, we believe that we can reach a market share of about 5%. And that corresponds to a turnover 2025 around 3 billion Swedish kronor. Our milestone, what we have achieved so far, we have got granted patents in South Korea, US, We have worked with a company, Quadis, to begin our introducing of the quality system 13485. We have started a collaboration here in Sweden with RISE. And the scanner, what we are working with today, was delivered in June, that we are making software adaptation and producing pictures on daily basis. The patent that applied to this application with the scanner and the reagent kit was approved and granted in Europe, and we are waiting for US, China, and India also in the near future. We have our operations established here in Lund, South Sweden. The expected milestones is the CE mark and ISO qualification. We are working now with several global partners in potential partnership and collaboration. And by end of 2020, we will be complete with the work with the external pathologists with the validation. So what is the profession saying? We have a number of pathologists who is working with us, and everyone is so excited about this new technology because it gives big opportunity for something called multiplexing, that we can see more and more marker in the same tissue. So it will save time and it will develop the science in the digital pathology a lot. And we know that all over the world now is going from the microscope over to digital pathology. So, and by that, the efficiency is increasing step by step. So we are looking in the future for a microscope-free system that everyone will work with. We have a number of collaboration, and the most important here is TTP. They are located in Cambridge, UK, and of course it have been some issues with traveling in and out, but we are keeping speed in our development, and they are focusing at the moment mainly on the hardware, and we ourselves is working with partners here in Sweden on the software and on the reagent kit. The patent families are free. And as mentioned earlier, the most important for this application is the last one that we got approved in Europe, US, and China and India is pending. Opportunities and long-term ambition. In 5 years' time, the current product will be globally established in both industrial and developing countries. We will start with Europe, but US is also in the horizon. And in a 5-year period, we should take significant steps to have a more automated solution. And there is other interesting application of this technology also. For example, open surgery, that the surgeon could take decisions before taking samples from a patient on the in the surgery theater, and also drug screening for pharmaceutical companies. This company is led by a board of members who have a solid knowledge within entrepreneurship and commercial and clinical experience. And we have a team with a management group and also a great team that is developing this now, as I said, mainly on the software and the reagent kit here in Sweden, but leading the project with the Cambridge on the hardware side. The shareholders is the biggest one is Cardion Future Finance and Masoud Kayami, who is also a big owner of Cardion. And I should also mention Stefan Andersson Engels, who is professor in Ireland, and he's the father of a lot of these ideas around this nanotechnology. With this short presentation, thank you very much for listening, and I'm very excited to hear some questions from the floor.
Thank you very much, Urban. And with that, we go to the Q&A part. We got some questions. The first question that we got is, if we look at the financials, how well capitalized are you for the close future?
We got directed emission just recently that we got 45 million into the bank, and that will keep us running in this pace at least 1 year ahead.
Thank you. And we go to the second question. Roughly, when do you expect the CE marking will be done, considering the rules that are changing in May 2021?
The rules are changing in May 2022. So it's 1 more year, but of course we have a plan that we will develop this in what is called IDDD. And the second rule, what start in May 22, is called IDDR. That means a notified body is certifying the product. So this is exactly the timelines which we are working with at the moment.
Thank you. We got another question. Do you have any plans of changing your listing, considering that you originally planned to list on First North?
The question of listing is not really what we are discussing in the operations here. We of course like to have our shareholders engaged in the company, and we are of course looking on different options from time to time, but the most important is for us to follow the development line of the product, and also with the regulatory, as was mentioned earlier, with the CE mark, the market adaptation, and to see that it's filling the big gap what is needed for the market at the moment.
Thank you. You communicated that you started the process with discussions for future partners. Can you tell us anything about what you are looking for in a future partner and how this process is going?
Yeah, one issue is to work with partners who are, let's say, already into the diagnostic system, who are in the hospital settings, who are into the journal system. So that's one thing regarding software and tender business, what is going on. The other thing is on the hardware side, if we can find some collaboration. And so it's different forefronts that we are working with. So on the development on the scanner itself, on the reagent kit, and to be a part of a bigger system.
Thank you. Do you have any time frame for when you have to find a partner and able to reach your goals of 5% market share in 2025?
It have to be before 2025 for sure, but we don't have any. It's more important that it's the right match and the right partner than the speed of finding a partner.
Thank you. And one final question we got here. Can you tell us a little bit about how it has been for you coming into the company, considering the tragic loss from your former CEO, Stefan?
Yeah, of course, it has been a very difficult time. First, of course, to take care of all employees and the shock that we were in. And as I'm in the board also, I was also in the part of the recruitment of Stefan from the very beginning. So it's, of course, sensitive for everyone. But we took some weeks and digest all the feelings, and since then we are focusing full steam ahead, and in the spirit of Stefan, we like to make this like a global leading product with a lot of success, and this is the the steam and the enthusiasm we are working with today.
Thank you very much, Urban. I understand. That was all questions. So thank you for your presentation and for the answers. And we will soon be back with the presentation by Kombigin. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.